All right, Crossroads Sports. Welcome. It's Wednesday night, June 26th. Crossroads Sports Radio, episode number 351. I'm your host, Brandon Reeve, joined as always by my man, Jonathan Birdsong, JB. Happy Wednesday. It is also NBA draft night. That's how quick life comes at you fast.
Is there any NFL news worth relevant, worth talking about? You know what I'm
None.
saying? The NBA and it's the sister league, the WNBA as well, has kind of taken over the full sporting news cycle. And if it isn't, you know what I'm saying, and if you're talking, you know, say if you're about anything, you know what I'm saying, you're talking about, you know what I'm saying, the Oklahoma City Thunder winning the championship in that little bitty pump parade. You're talking about Tyrese Halliburton and how he became a legend, you know what I'm saying, and putting it all on the line. You're talking about another special Pacers team, you know what I'm saying, like I said, getting to the finals and putting it on the line. You're probably talking about Kevin Durant getting moved and how you feel about, you know what I'm saying, him getting another chance to validate his career in Houston. And you're probably talking about, you know what I'm saying, the NBA draft. You know what I'm saying? So the NBA is, you know what I'm saying, and like I said, we'll get to the WNBA news bites as well. But like, yeah, man, the basketball's the basketball world, man. And like, yeah, this is it. Would it be Indiana? Would this be in Indianapolis? You know what I'm saying? We are in the center and the heart of it, man. So, you know what I'm saying? This is probably, you know, if you was expecting, sorry y'all, you expecting, you know what I'm saying, racing. I know Pallone, they didn't got back into it. You know what I'm saying? They, you know what I'm saying, you know, or whatnot. But like, nah, man, this is probably all basketball tonight, yo. But like, yeah. Where you want to talk about the draft a little bit? I mean, the
Let's
Pacers ain't got a dog in the fight just yet.
let's put a
Pick the
bow on the NBA Finals because we never really did that. We talked halftime, and
do
that
we
was
got to?
it. The parade's been canceled. Uh,
Not in
Thunder
my mind. Not in my mind.
beat the Pacers. But the biggest news, yeah, Pacers just came up short with a shorthanded squad.
Yeah.
Biggest news, John, was the fact that Halliburton torn Achilles. He's going to be out all of next season. Um, and I was telling a couple people at work that I think the Pacers had a plan. Obviously, what the offseason was going to look like before Halliburton got hurt, and then now I think it's actually kind of turned it a little bit upside down for the potential. And in the Pacers' greatest scheme, they traded this year's pick tonight to the New Orleans Pelicans to get their pick back next year, just before Halliburton got hurt. So now, if you have a down year, you're going to have a higher draft pick to possibly use on something. But you got him hurt; he's out. You got Miles Turner. Are you going to bring him back? Or are you not going to bring him back? He did not have the greatest finals slash NBA playoffs that you were
Right.
kind of expecting from Miles. You do get a $23 million ish playoff or $21 million play injury exemption to use
Right.
for Tyrese Halliburton for his injury. You were basically the pick of the East for next year, and now, John, um, it may just be a lame duck year next year, possibly, unless they make some moves to show up that team a little bit for until Tyrese comes back, and to hope to God that he comes back bigger and better than he was, because it's not always a guarantee that you're going to do that, right? He did go to the
Right.
same doctor as Durant, but yeah, it's man, shot in the heart that Sunday night, man. It was Monday just didn't feel real. Um, man, bad news.
Yeah, I just want to tap in the post injury world and like what the so like I don't understand a professional basketball team that has a winning culture. If you got a winning culture, you will want to make sure that culture stays winning. Um, don't fall in love with what these other teams do when it seems like their window of winning. This is you know what I'm saying is over, man. You know, I really don't necessarily get what Boston is doing. I do, but I don't because they have a new owner, and this new owner, you know, what I'm saying his in his mindset, I pay X amount of dollars, $6 billion for the Boston Celtics. I want to make sure that I get my money back. You know what I'm saying? My return value. So he doesn't necessarily have, you know what I'm saying, the relationship with the players or like I said, what they kind of went through the last couple of seasons to get to, you know what I'm saying, Jason Tatum making 50 some $1 million or to get to Jaylen Brown making, you know what I'm saying, he doesn't necessarily have that relationship. He wasn't long for that ride. But like, nah, man. the Pacers, deep breath, man, because they aren't necessarily the ownership group is here that hasn't necessarily been known to, deal in any type of luxury tax or anything like that. And I think a lot of times a lot of people think that the luxury tax means like what they did like in the late 90s or the early 2000s, and that's something that when they had the whole 3-team super team structure. Now we have all these things called aprons and whatnot, and it's real bug to me, Brandon. Like, okay, where's the taxes go? The taxes go back to where? Back to the league office, which gets filtered back to the league somehow, some way, man. So what taxes maxes, man.
Yeah.
If your team has got a winning culture, continue the winning culture. Now,
but there's some issues with that now with the latest collective bargaining, John, because I thought the same. But this second apron, which was there's 5 teams that are at that second apron. Minnesota, New York, Boston. I forget the other couple teams that are in that apron, but they're scared of that second apron and that collective bargaining. It was to try to keep other teams relevant where you didn't have this super team. And I'll give you, for the people that don't know at home, let me give it to you. The second apron is essentially a hard salary cap, meaning teams cannot exceed it under any circumstance. It's beyond the level of standard luxury tax, and the first apron represent a significant increase in penalties for exceeding it. The second apron aims to prevent teams from consistently maintaining large payrolls and dominating the league by limiting their ability to improve their rosters through trades and free agencies. So here's some of the penalties. 1, limited player movement. Teams cannot aggregate salaries to acquire a player to make more money, cannot use trade exemptions, cannot use cash in trades. 2, draft pick restrictions. First round picks can be automatically moved to the end of the round if a team exceeds the second apron for 3 of the 5 seasons. And first round picks in 7 years out cannot be traded. So you can't throw your 2042 first round draft pick in a thing right now. You can't do it. Loss of exemptions. Teams can lose access to taxpayer mid-level exemptions and the ability to sign free agents by using the exemption besides the minimum salary. The impacts, roster building challenges it makes. It's harder for teams to build and maintain competitive rosters, potentially forcing them to break up successful teams, as you're seeing the Boston Celtics. Team strategy. Teams are now strategically managing their payroll to avoid the second apron, leading to more player movement and roster changes. This is why you're going to see a lot more trades. They have to make trades. The Celtics are making trades. You're going to see trades tonight. I think you're in for at least 5 to 10 trades tonight, I bet.
But here's what I'm going to say, man. The Celtics, once they get through this transition of trading unicorn for George Yang, and they mature up and they don't go too crazy about as far as what they got to cut, they gonna still be right back at the table. It's like the Lakers is gonna be back at the table. All the power teams are still gonna be back at the table, Brad.
Right, but they're gonna have a very limited because
let's not lose our mind. I get it.
Jaylen Brown's gonna get traded, John. Jaylen Brown's getting traded tonight, most likely, I think.
Well, that would mean if Brooklyn made the Boston Celtics offers they couldn't refuse. Brooklyn Nets have 5 first rounders, and either they swinging for the. But Giannis is gonna cost you 7. That Giannis is gonna cost you 7 first rounders through like 2 or 3 seasons. So Brooklyn's stupid enough to do that. But again, Brooklyn's a transitional team. When is the last time anybody took Brooklyn serious? When the team was New Jersey. I'm being dead serious.
Damn.
Nobody's taking that team serious from a win-loss standpoint or like culture. Okay, I get it. It's a transitional team, new ownership. All right, let's go to another team consistently in the lottery. The Washington Wizards. They know they don't need CJ McCullough. They got CJ, but he gonna wilt there. He got traded there. Like we're gonna forget about. He might as well go up to north and become part of the worldwide leader full time. But like these teams are going the Pelicans. Joe Dumars is there. He ain't gonna turn that ship around. They got stuck with Zion Williamson. The Memphis Grizzlies. They eventually probably gonna trade John Morant. Eventually. But they gotta try to keep safe. Like they have somewhat of a crazy fan base that loves John Morant and loves basketball culture, so they trying to win. So I don't get all this jettison. Let's kick these guys to the curb because we're self-penalizing the team. And we're self-penalizing. So like, could you imagine Brandon Reed? Could you imagine it's 1987 and the Boston Celtics got to figure out if they got to keep Kevin McHale or Robert Parrish? Could you imagine? I can't. I can't. They didn't win every year, but they were competitive every year. I couldn't imagine. I get it. Technically, they're Larry Bird. You know what I'm saying? Has an injury, has a significant injury that you're gonna use a year's time, but you're only losing a year. Like their window was still a 4-year window of winning a championship. So
Yeah.
like you just ready to kick that down the curb. I don't understand. Okay, go back to the Pacers. Pacers. If Miles Turner asks for over a penny more than $31 million, it's a high. It's a aloha goodbye for me because Brandon Reed. Okay, face value. Is he as good of a player? I'm not talking about what each individual. What I'm the homie that plays for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's at $31 million right now, and he's a free agent. Help me out with his name. He's the often travel guy. His damn self. It'll come to me. But anyway, they're starting center. He's $31 million. He's not as good as him. He's not as dependable.
Gobert?
No. Other guy.
Nas Reed?
Thank you. No. He probably goes, man, I should know this, man. This is why I wrote down my daggone notes, man. No. Who forgetting Brandon Reed in real time? Used to play for the Lakers. Got traded there.
Julius Randle?
Julius Randle ain't good as Miles. Julius Randle and Miles Turner are living in the same land, man. So if you pay him up 31 a penny more, or his agent asked for a penny more, man, we can't do that. The Pacers can't do that. Miles Turner has historically never ever shown up that he could be a dependable third banana. What Miles Turner does, he does great things. Blocking the basketball at the rim, absolutely. Screener, absolutely. Stretch four. I said stretch four, not stretch five. See, now we playing him as a center. You see what I'm saying? Stretch four, he filled that role. But when they needed him, like the leader of the team went down, dude, and they needed a scorer, Brandon. They just needed somebody to rebound the ball, offensive rebound the ball. He wasn't there. And I know some people gonna say, well, at one point in the third quarter, like I don't know what the hell Carlisle was doing. He had Siakam and Miles Turner out. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of kooky. It's kind of kooky. But again, man, you had opportunities, man, and he has never changed. People call on the radio station. They chime here on Crossroads Sports. They chime on ESPN Video. Miles Turner, why can't he put one foot in the lane and become some type of post player? I get it. We're playing in space. The basketball nerds are gonna play. Well, we're not playing in 1980s
Oh boy,
basketball.
we got breaking news.
What we got? Who got traded?
We have the first trade of the evening.
Where we going?
The San Antonio Spurs are trading the number 38th pick in tonight's draft to the Indiana Pacers for a second-round pick in cash. So the Pacers are in tonight, or into the 38th pick overall.
But Brandon Reeve, who said on last episode the Pacers might want to trade into the draft? I think
they already have a second-round pick. They got the 56, but
that's somebody's gonna be consistently in the G League, man. So you picking at 38, man. That's something. I'm not saying that's
tomorrow,
but that means he's gonna be a point guard, whoever they pick.
Well, here's my thing. I don't think they pick. I think they put some pieces together to move up even further now. Because who would you look at 38? You say, I have to get this guy. There's nobody. John, I don't even think they worked out anybody.
No, they haven't. They've been too busy.
I don't think they worked out anybody. So you're not going to use the pick. If anything, it has to be used for a trade.
And then you package that with whoever, some of your depth, whoever that might be. You know what I'm saying? And then away you go. I mean, I'm all for it, Brandon Reeve. They have to. The Pacers in real time have to figure out a starting point guard for next year, and maybe 2 years, maybe a year and a half. You know what I'm saying? But they don't necessarily need anybody long term.
Unless there's only one guy I can see them going up to get. You're going to call me crazy.
Who's that?
We need a point guard, right? We need another point guard / guard, right?
Yeah.
What about Nembhard's brother?
He'll be there.
And he'll be right at that spot, too.
He'll be there. He wasn't going to be there at 51, but he'll be there.
He'll be there. And I think you get. I mean, shit. You had the Holiday Boys, right? So why not have the Nimhards?
That way, like, if you go, like I said, if you go that route, you don't have to do team tear up, and I mean, there's going to be some form of team tear up, but you won't have to go team tear up.
So
Because
a little bit of
again,
breakdown from that.
go ahead.
The Pacers get a selection 15 slots lower and with a $2 million lower salary than the 23rd pick that they traded last week. Great piece of business for the Pacers, who are reacquiring their own 2026 first round while getting into the top of the second round. So that's the word from around the league on the Indiana Pacers with this move. Man,
I threw the homie from the Game Time podcast, Dekai, a bone. We've been trying to figure out a veteran point guard kind of coming in. Jordan Clarkson's on an expiring contract out there in Utah. He said he wouldn't necessarily be opposed to Jordan Clarkson. The homie said I didn't want to throw it down. I didn't like it at first, but then I started thinking. He said Dennis Schroeder for 1 year.
you knew who I
Wouldn't be bad.
said.
Tyus Jones for 1 year. That's on the peak, but
I said Russ. Give me Russ.
Man, Russ will get this city going the wrong way. But
No, it
Russ
won't.
would
Just
bring
1 year.
Kenny really maintain. We need somebody that can play at least 65 games starting. And I'm not saying Russ plays games, but I'm saying start and not be erratic. And Russ is erratic. Tyrese is not erratic. Tyrese is probably erratic with the scoring. Russ is erratic with the scoring and passing. So I'm not poo-pooing it. Brandon, that's a superstar. That's somebody they got to account for on the floor, any opposing team, but like Russ is a little bit too erratic. It might even almost stunt the growth of Ben. And I expect big steps out of Ben next year.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the word is Windhorse says keep an eye on the Pacers as Obi Toppin and Ben Matherin are likely on the block to see what's available. Carlisle said this yesterday morning that Miles Turner is still the franchise priority for the offseason. Here's my thing. I think you're sitting in a good spot. This is a great spot now for Ben Matherin to start. To give him that starting role, you're going to have that. And call me crazy, he's a lot more prolific of a scorer than Tyrese Halliburton. So you're going to have that. I think you get Andrew Nembhard kind of more into that familiar role that he's with the point guard position, and you have Matherin at the two. So I like that. But honestly, John, I think it's almost like Obi Toppin might be the man out, and that might have to be the piece that gets moved. Because here's my thing: Obi Toppin excelled the most with Tyrese Halliburton. Without Tyrese Halliburton, he doesn't have that playmaker to get to excel his skills, and I think that's what the problem is going to be.
Well, some would argue. I got tweeted to this man like, "Don't Obi Toppin. If Obi Toppin can block shots, he's better than Miles Turner."
He can't block shots, though. That's the problem.
I said he can't. Obi Toppin. If Obi Toppin could block shots, he'd be Miles Turner would be up out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? They'd be really playing small, but I don't know, man. Yeah, he does play better with Ty. I mean, that's his guy. You know what I mean? So we shall see what we shall see.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what we're looking at there.
Could that next year, could Obi Toppin this pick next year, Colin Sexton, maybe from another Utah? I'm going rich on Utah. I mean, if you want me, they ain't bringing in Tyler Hero.
The problem is the contracts are not. They won't add up. I think Sexton makes too much for Obi Toppin. You have to throw in some more pieces.
Oh, Colin Sexton, dang, who's his agent? That's crazy.
Yeah. So if you missed it, first trade of the night so far, drafts in 32 minutes. Spurs are trading the number 38 pick to the Pacers for a future second round pick and some cash. I personally think tomorrow, well, it looks like we have a little more update. It's a 2030 second round pick from Sacramento that the Pacers are trading to the Spurs for tomorrow night's 38th pick.
Brandon, you said the key word, man. Somebody chirped me, man. Where the Sabonis to that? Sabonis is on the block. This is before we kind of chopped.
Yeah.
Sabonis is on the
Yep,
block.
he is.
Sabonis, everybody knows I'm pro Sabonis, man. I'm sorry,
I know you are.
yeah, I don't
All right,
want to.
John, we got our first guest for the night.
Who we got?
Bring it on. Fred, what's up, Fred? How are you, buddy?
Hey, what's happening, fellas? I'm out here in sunny San Diego, California.
Oh,
Just
that's
Nice.
left.
Out for the game?
Yeah,
time zone thing.
it's actually my birthday today. I'm out here celebrating 42nd.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys. I went to the Padres game. I sat behind the dugout. Got too burnt out there. My Irish lily skin was sitting there just directly underneath the sun behind the dugout, just frying. So I got the funniest above my knee tan lines right now. But yeah, I saw the Padres. Got to see Tatis, my favorite player in the league. He got walked and struck out, and I dipped at about the sixth inning and went to Tacos El Gordo. It's like probably the
Uh-oh.
best tacos I've ever had in my life. If you're ever in San Diego, shout out to them. They're originally from Tijuana, and it is all authentic. And yeah, it was incredible. So yeah, I'm just out here in San Diego. Want to talk a
Heck
little
yeah.
paper with you guys if I could afford a few minutes of your time.
Yeah,
You said you want
absolutely.
to play?
Yo, I'll put the buffs on for this because I got to keep it Detroit as you know. So let me throw these on. But
Well, that's probably going before the top injury went down. That's probably was going to be a collision course next year. Detroit and the Pacers, especially after Detroit got snaked against the
this
Knicks.
is how.
Two bad calls. That was horrible.
Oh, that Hardaway foul at the end was egregious. I've said it this year, especially after the Adam Silver Dallas pick and the officiating in some of the playoff series. Like it's WWE ball at this point. Like that's pretty much. You got TJ McConnell getting his wrist just grabbed like the entire time he's dribbling. I understand hand checks. I'm an 80s baby bird. I know you're an old school basketball hoops fan like me. Hand checks, you used to have to play through it. You used to have to battle through stuff. It wasn't, LeBron and Friends League. Like people hated each other on the court and would take
Right.
advantage of every physical aspect. And I'm all for letting them play, but when you see egregious things, and then you got to listen to Dorsberg. Oh my God, a layup! Like they hit a layup. Oh, cool, a layup. That's like what was the Bill Walton? He's like beautiful cut, or he like
Well,
beautiful whatever it was. You're like, bruh, he did something I did in like 8th grade intramural basketball. Like, chill. But yeah, the officiating was egregious. But I will say this. The Indiana Pacers from 24 and 25 did the impossible. They made you already know the vibes here. You know how
that's what's up.
pro Detroit I am. They made me fall in love with that team. I love this Pacer team. The Pacer fans that I got to get to know. I've been here 16. I say here I'm in San Diego, but I've lived in Indy for 16 years,
Right.
and I'm diehard about my Detroit teams. I have a lot of hats. Not many of them are something that's outside of Detroit and Michigan. They made me fall in love with that team. The fans deserve that. They didn't deserve what happened in Game 7. And as a Detroit Lions fan, it sickens me because I know that sick feeling that everybody felt when they left. I left in the fourth quarter once OKC. I was at the watch party at the field house.
Mm-hmm.
Once OKC went up by like 16, 18, I hugged two of my best friends there, and it was like they were watching a funeral. And like I'm hugging them leaving a funeral. And even walking to my car, it was like I went for the Pacers this playoff run like they were the Detroit Pacers. And, you know, Steven Jackson and Jermaine O'Neal right there, like that's how I feel. I want all the smoke, pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, that was just because the Malice at the Palace happened doesn't mean I have to hate the Indiana Pacers. There's nothing hateable about this group of guys and this staff, the coaching, Rick Carlisle, former Pistons coach. Like
Yeah.
Indiana deserved a parade this week. They deserved a ring. And I hate being a loser fan and saying, oh, okay, so you can thank Scott Foster and Halley's, Achilles for their title. But you talk about a oralist champion, like,
Put it ass on it.
I'll tell you guys what I told some of my best friends who are the most diehard Pacer fans, and to everybody out there who's a Pacer fan. For what it's worth, again, take it from a Detroit Piston fan. I know there's some bad blood there, but I just want to make an analogy. And Bird, I know you're going to hate this analogy because I'm going to make a reference to a former group of guys that hooped in the 90s. You might have heard of them, the Fab Five.
Okay.
I've been thinking long and hard about this Pacer loss. And this is what I came up with. This was my revelation. The 2024-25 Indiana Pacers, when all said and done, right? The parade's done. They're a little hokey. Oh, Chet Holmgren stuttering. Oh, aren't they so silly? Shy's got his shirt off and says he's the best in the world. Oh, they're so cute. No, okay. From this point forward, when hoops fans, not casuals, hoops fans, sports fans, when people look back at this year's playoffs, what are they going to think of? What will they always reference? And moving forward,
Pacers run.
whose team will be replicated in terms of how you build a team? Because there's some love to, okay, so they draft well, they do this. Indiana Pacers did something that most teams, and we're leaving this, it's weird to be in a bygone era that I never thought we'd get out of, the super team era. Now it's the team era. The Indiana Pacers and the team era. So I say that to say this. When people think back on hoops and March Madness from the years 1992, 93, do they go, oh man, Eric Montrose, shout out former Lawrence North,
Yeah.
7-footer, rest in peace, Eric Montrose.
I know it's ever that North Carolina run, held that banner, and they had a great,
Or
great
Arkansas.
team.
Who else was
But
on that North Carolina team, Bird, other than Montrose? Do you remember?
Jordan Lynch is on
You're
the
a
team.
sicko basketball fan, so I know you do.
Yeah,
right?
George Lynch.
Like me.
Ed Cota wasn't on it, was he?
Who?
Ed Cota. Was he on the 95 team?
Cota, well, I feel like Cota was a little later, a couple years later.
Was he a little bit later?
But yeah, they nobody on comparable on that level of the Fab Five. You know what I'm saying? Even on the NBA level, you know what I'm saying? Nobody.
But what I'm saying with that is I'm not comparing influence on culture, influence on, because obviously they learned from Jordan with the shaved head, the baggy shorts, the black socks. They mimicked Jordan and they popularized it, and it became part of the culture, not just in basketball culture, but the culture. Right. And I feel like, in the sense of just from basketball standpoint, sometimes the team that doesn't win, look at the Butler run. They never won. But what they did was so incredible. People always go back to that Butler team like they did win a ring. And some people, I've heard Hoosiers talking to non-Hoosiers, and they're like, oh yeah, that Butler team when they won. And they're like, they didn't win. And it's like they revisit it in a weird way of like, they're the winners. So say all that to say this. When people think of this playoff run, it was the Halley run, it was the Pacer run. I feel like time will tell that people will remember this Pacer team and what Halliburton did more than, oh man, the OKC Thunder, they played really good defense and Shy, Mr. 3 steps, push off, gather, and then if the basket goes in, he's the greatest ever. If it misses, a late whistle. Gilgeous-Alexander, I feel like people are going to lean more towards the Pacers in remembrance of this playoff run and Halliburton's contributions than they will to, oh man, the Thunder 68-14, one of the best defense. Like, man, people have been propping them up like they were the 96 Bulls or the 2016 Warriors. I'm like, stop. And now you got to listen to ESPN nonsense of them being a dynasty. They're one injury away from being a play-in team. We can't predict hoops, but that's my prediction. I feel like this Pacer team is immortalized forever in the history of hoops, in the history of pro hoops. The 25 Pacers will be a popular team on NBA 2K. Years moving forward. Oh, shit, take the 25 Pacers. Like, what say you fellas? I've been talking a lot. I'll shut up now. What say you?
We ain't had you on one time, man. One, the East is wide open. And if your team doesn't have a whole lot of tear down, you're probably gonna be right there in the top 4. So I would say like Detroit, you know what I'm saying? I think I don't know about Hardaway's number or any the other homie that they got the other shooter about him kind of coming back. You know what I'm saying? Because Yeah, thank you. But if they bring back everybody, why wouldn't? And then the more maturation, that level, like K Cutting just got to close the games out, friend. Got to close the games out and make the free throws up. Like they should think that they should take the next step with the East being what it is.
And I've been again. The Pacers did the unthinkable. I'm going at my fellow brethren in the D when it comes to the Pacers. There were some Piston fans like laughing about the Pacers preying on their downfall, and I'm like, bro, that's literally going to be us next season. Like that Pacer team this year is going to be us next year, getting hosed on calls, getting everybody be picking the other team as a favorite the entire run that they go, however long they last from the first round,
They just
hopefully
gotta.
to the finals. Like
I
it's the same difference.
I kind of thought they was gonna. I didn't. If Detroit had to play the Pacers, you know what I'm saying. You probably would have had an even.
Pacers
you know
and
Sixers,
Pacers and six.
you probably,
Yeah.
yeah, 6 or 7 games because, like I say, they have some maturity issues still. You know what I'm saying? That they kind of got. It just kind of comes naturally. You know what I'm saying? The older the basketball players get. So, but yeah, next year they should be in the top 4 teams. It ain't like Charlotte's just gonna turn it back over. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just because they got a lottery pick or Orlando's got it. You know what I'm saying? Just because they got Desmond Bain, that they automatically gonna jump up to number 2. So I don't know, man. I believe in still. I don't believe in the. I don't look at the numbers of the apron and whatnot. I get it why you can't have your super stack of Tyrese Halliburton, SGA, LeBron James, and Luka. I understand that part, but like why? Don't penalize your team for them trying to. Fred, what you're saying, super team, because that did become exhausting because only the coastal teams, you know what I'm saying, we're building
Well,
super
yeah,
teams.
you need like Magneto and Wolverine and Incredible Hulk on your team just to like compete. It's not
But like,
fair. It's not
like
fun.
like before you kind of came on, man, it kind of I can give it to you, but what you gonna do with it? Like, you know what I'm saying? If you get all this lottery picks or you get all these free agents, like still teams are still messing up. They messed up the Phoenix Suns. So it's about, you know what I'm saying, rolling over his play in his grave,
Bradley
man.
Beal. Oof.
Yeah, Bradley Beal, they can't move. They're talking about buying his contract out after the, you know what I'm saying, after the dust settles. So, you know, which would be crazy. So, like, man, that's kind of where I'm at with it. But like, the more team, again, Cleveland probably still be, as long as you know, be crazy about Darius Garland, they'll probably be right there at the end too next year in the East. But like, I think don't tear up your team, and you'll have a chance next year at the Larry O'Brien.
I appreciate it. Yeah, and all of my Pacer people out there, don't be mad at me when you see me at the field house with my Pistons starter jacket and decked from head to toe. Like, I love you guys. I appreciate you, just not when we're playing. It's like Magic Johnson. I give you a little smoochy wooch, a little kissy in this playoff run, and then I'm elbowing you in the face next season. Like,
The
but
greatest
just
Pistons,
know that. Yeah, just know you did the unthinkable. You made me an Indiana Pacer fan. I'll forever love that team, and I would not be mad to go down to them and them get a ring because Indiana deserves to have a champion. It's a basketball state. They deserve to hoist that Larry O'Brien, and I feel like they still are going to get it. I hope not. All hope is lost for Pacer fans because again, you feel like you're just going to go a whole lifetime without it. You deserve it, and I mean that sincerely. Like I want you guys to get one. I got 3. Like I just need a Lions
and,
Super Bowl, and then I don't even give a shit about sports. I'll be that old dude like I used to hate when I was a kid and just watch westerns and just not even mess with sports anymore. Give me one Lions Super Bowl, and everybody else can play in the same. But I don't care. Like I'm done with sports. So yeah, I hope you guys. I really do. I hope Pacers. I hope they bounce back. You think? Have you guys talked about it? I'm sure you have, but like, are you interested in doing a 1-year rental while Hallie's healing to just try to make a run and sneak into the play-in or get a lower seed and just try to do
that's what
some damage
I
again?
believe in winning culture. Like, so yeah, patch him up, find you the best Avery Johnson that you can, and just go for it. You know, you're not gonna have, you know, what I'm saying, that guy. He'll be packing his bags, but like, don't settle. Don't bring in Corey Joseph. Don't bring in Tyus Jones.
Go get Russell Westbrook. Bring him in 1 year,
He wants to
explosiveness, see what happens. What's
yeah.
the worst thing that happens? All right, it doesn't work out. You get rid of him. He's only 1 year rental. That's it.
I feel like you don't necessarily need a superstar, but you definitely need like a playmaker because You know how, and I know you guys, you know how exhausted I've been of like hearing, oh, is he a superstar? That's the new LeBron versus Jordan is Halliburton a superstar? And again, I know you hate me because of what's under my bill of my hat here, but I was going to bat with Detroit. I was going with Detroiters, going at them about, I called into my favorite show and flat out told them, Piston fans hating on Hallie and the Spacer team, you sound like the girl that Billy didn't ask to prom because the media propped up Hallie before Cade got propped up. Cade will get his, like
Oh, he gonna get
Bird alluded to a little bit ago. Cade's got to develop a clutch gene. You got to have an X factor. You got to have a clutch gene in you. Regular season, it's all cute and dandy, but when the playoffs come and there's 1 minute left and you have the rock in your hand, we need you to make a big shot. And so that's why Hallie is looked at the way that he is, and he deserves to be heralded as such. So don't trip up because your favorite talking head doesn't call your guy the superstar. It's all semantics at the end of the day. So who cares? Like winning is what matters. Legacy is what matters. And I've said it a million times. That's
that
what
leg.
basketball fans, not just Pacer fans, are going to remember this run by Hallie more than, oh man, Siakam's the better scorer. Siakam's the better player. Like no
Yeah,
one's thinking
But
about that.
what I'm excited to see, Fred, is it's time for a couple guys to put up or shut up on this
Miles
Pacer
Turner.
team. Miles Turner, you're going to have a bigger role. Ben Matherin, you're going to have a starting role now where you can be that prolific scorer out there. And guess what? Hey, Jarris Walker, you also were a top 10 pick. So you're going to get some playing time next year, and it's
You're
time to
welcome.
produce or you're out.
Yep.
You had two top
Yep.
10 guys in the last two drafts. It's time for them to step up.
You know who doesn't need to step up? TJ Jeffrey Jordan. Shout out to him for getting his bag. I see you, TJ. TJ is going to be at the fashion mall, just popping tags there. Like he's got
My
his 10
favorite
million a
Pacer
year.
now. My
Oh
overall favorite
man,
Pacer.
I got
Man,
like Obi Toppin actually won me over. Was it the Knicks series when they were at the Garden and the fan was like calling him names? He's like, "Yo, we're at the
Yeah.
Ritz Carlton. Come at me." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm getting his jersey. Like I'm an Obi Toppin guy now." Like.
Heck yeah.
yeah,
So we'll see. It's Fred, I've had mixed emotions on it the whole time because I sat there, I was deflated that Sunday night, and I reminisced. I was like, oh, the next day I was like, hey, it was a hell of a run. I still love the run they did. I love everything about it. But then it started creeping in the next day, Tuesday, and then today it's like, dog, what if that's the closest I'm ever going to get to a championship for the Pacers in my lifetime? I'm 40 now, right? I've had two chances, 2000. We got the break speed off us in game 6. And then this one, it's like, I'll trade one of my Steelers Super Bowls for a Pacers NBA title.
oh,
I'll trade 3 of them. I don't care. I just want one.
uh-oh.
Brandon, real quick, we'll jump back, but as a quick aside, the genie's out of the lamp now. You spoke Steelers into existence. Give me your Aaron Rodgers take for this season as a Steeler fan. Just
He's
60,
not even
60 seconds. What's your
It
take?
seems it seems like everything is a 1 year for me, whether it be Halliburton being out, whether Aaron Rodgers being in for a year. I guess we're playing for Mike Tomlin's streak. That's all we're doing this year.
Here's the $64,000 question. Is Aaron Rodgers going to get Mike Tomlin fired at the end of this season?
I don't think
Ooh,
so.
I
I
hope
don't think
not.
so.
Because that's one of those coaches that people hate on for some reason, and oh, he's lucky, and what he's done, regardless if that's a built-in product and anybody could just go in there, cool, you do it. To
right.
have the playoff run that he's had with, look at the bum, not just trying to be disrespectful, but some bums at quarterback,
Yeah,
to do what you did with little to nothing, that's
right.
coaching. So I really hope the black hole that is.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Lost friend. They
he,
got him.
he deep, deep state got him. You talk about
The
the,
State got him. You start talking
the
about
deep
Aaron Rodgers,
state.
man. You can't,
The deep state
you can't
got him.
talk about Aaron Rodgers
Damn.
and say he's about to go on Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers might not make it through the whole season. He might get hurt.
Aaron,
Our offensive line is
Aaron,
still shit.
Well, Aaron Rodgers talking like he want a swan song, like he want a tour, like everybody come see me, man. Like, dude, everybody don't love you like that, Aaron. They don't.
Right, here we go. I think he's back.
Okay, tell that back.
I thought Deep State got you.
Dude, I'm in this resort. You would think the Wi-Fi would be better.
I thought Deep State got you talking about Rodgers.
Dude, I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, I mean, look at this. Like, they at least
that's an all right view.
Yeah, it's not bad, just whatever, just ocean view,
You need to go out like Aaron Rodgers with a headset out there by the water, walking, contemplating life. No, Fred, I was telling him while you were gone, he might not even make it through the whole season. Our offensive line is still crap.
That's a very good point. Well, and it seems like his accuracy is just not where it used to be as well. Like the timing, and I get when you're jumping team to team, that's definitely going to happen. Like you're not going to be in a rhythm with your receivers and your tight ends and stuff like that.
Right.
And like with Metcalf being there now, you would think like two egos on putting the same jersey on, and one needs the other. Like he better get into a rhythm and stop doing licking toad glands and whatever the hell he's doing. Like he needs to.
The good news is Tomlin's dealt with egos. If you remember, he had Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown together, so he can handle some egos when it goes in regards to that. So we'll see. Oh, we lost John. Now John's back. John, Deep State gets you.
It's the curse. We're all the brain is going to drop off here. I think it's Aaron Rodgers' fault. I'm blaming it on him. I blame everything.
Pulling out too much energy.
Yeah, something like that. So
yeah, I definitely had to do a quick aside because you talked about Steelers. I had to do a.
No, you're good, Freddie. I'm glad you got on.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I just want we're talking Pacers and stuff. I just wanted to put it out, into the ether of just how much I appreciated this team and the fact that you got who I don't consider a rival. Maybe Pacers look at us that way because we kind of swept the rug out from you the year that it really was looking like it was your year. That you converted me into a fan. Like I've been a resident 16 years, so I would hope I have some kind of jurisdiction in Pacer fandom. But I really wanted that for you. Like I was watching those games, like I was rooting for my squad, and with the same energy, the same passion, the same feeling after a loss. Like that walk to the car, I parked next to in the Virginia lot, and it was the early in the fourth, and just that walk with everybody, it felt like it was a game 7. Like I jokingly but seriously called into my sports show in Detroit after the night. That night, I cried on FaceTime to my sister for an hour. I looked at my wife after the Lions flubbed that NFC Championship to the Niners. I was like, I'm gonna go cry for an hour with my sister, and we FaceTimed, and it was devastating. Like to have a 24/7 lead going into the third quarter, and I had to turn my phone off because it was just buzzing, and like I was getting hundreds of like so many people were messaging like I knew you would do it. First time in the Super Bowl. How do you feel? Like, and I'm a Lions fan. It ain't over till it's over. I've seen horrific officiating, the Calvin Johnson touchdown, not touchdown, the Seattle Monday night game where they just bonked it into the end zone, and the Houston Thanksgiving game where the elbow was down when it wasn't. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, the infamous non-face mask on Flowers and setting up a Hail Mary at Ford Field. You could go on and on and on with all the pass interference against Dallas in the playoffs, the 2-point conversion against Dallas 2 years ago that they called back because Decker did report. Spoiler alert. I ran into Jerry Jones at Lucas Oil when the combine was there, and I told him I can't wait to get our lick back at Jerry World. And people around me were looking at me like, but I remember that. I remember that feeling, and I called into my sports show and told him like it felt like I walked in on someone sleeping with my wife, and that guy got her pregnant. Like that's the feeling I felt in my gut that night, that next day, that week, that next month in February. Like that's how sick I felt. Like it felt horrible. And we go to the Commanders loss. That didn't hurt as much. that was a different hurt. That felt like robbers. Like on my Ring camera, I saw burglars at my door with like commander clothes on, and I just let them into my house and let them rob me. That's what that playoff loss felt like last year. Like we just let them in, and we're just like, here you go, take all our stuff.
Yeah,
But
it's
I know that pain, and so that's why I relate to Pacer fans, man. I know how it feels to go your like you said. I've gone my whole life. I cried when the Lions won the division against the Vikings. Like we got an interception, stopped them. We won we won the North, and I bawled. Who balls their eyes out at their team winning a division? Then we beat Matthew Stafford, traitor, and the LA Rams, which we seem to always do, and we'll do in LA next season. But winning a playoff game made me cry. How many fans of a team do you bawl because your team won a playoff game? Like it's just some fans, like Cubs fans and stuff, like you for whatever reason the sports gods are cruel. And what happened to Halliburton and Pacer fans, to me, it's one of the cruelest things I've seen in sports. So I know I'm like talking a bunch on this topic and stuff, but I just wanted to say, like, put it out there, like you are seen and heard. And like I said, Pacer fans, I know you wanted that ring and that moment, but you are forever immortalized in sports. And we will always look back on this run and feel warm, fuzzy thoughts. And this will be one of the first things that people remember is Halliburton himself and this Pacer team from this year. Probably much more than they're going to remember the Thunder and Chet Holmgren, the skeleton with the beard, and Jalen Williams, who had a minus 40 in the NBA Finals, the worst performance we've seen in 30 years that nobody talks about. No one's going to remember them in totality. It's going to be the Pacers. So that's
Freddie,
sad.
this is the therapy I needed. I needed some therapy, Pacers therapy, that it was going to be okay because I,
You will, man.
as crazy as it was, I was upset. We lost Game 7, but I instantly went straight to next year, and I told my wife, I was like, no, he's out next year. Like this is,
It's a
I'm
wash.
looking
He
ahead.
sacrificed 2 seasons to put it out there to try to get you guys one. Like,
Yeah,
you got to
yep.
respect it, man. He put it all out there for the Pacers. So
Oh, and one of the best parts about this run and last year's run was that was the first time that my wife actually she's watched basketball and Pacers or whatnot and just
I
been
know where
okay.
you're getting at.
She's deep into it, like deep into these players, just the profiles, the games. She's so deep into it now. She felt that gut punch after Game 7, and and she's ready for next year already. And I said, well, it might not be. It's not going to be like it was this year. Unfortunately, I hope it
Look
is, but
there.
I.
No, I had my
So,
wife
but
in a
she's into it
sports
now, and I love
bar,
it.
in a loud sports bar. Never would I think my wife. My wife doesn't give a crap about sports. Like, so never would I ever think my wife would be in a loud sports bar, like going nuts and like, oh, he traveled, and why didn't they call the foul? Like, who are you? Like, amazing. Like that's what this Pacer team did. They did some unthink. They converted Detroit fans. They turned non-sports fans into sports fans. Again, like I can't say it enough. Like I know you want the ring, but I wanted a Fab Five ring that we didn't get. But you know what? A lot of hoops fans, even if you hate that Michigan group, we could think of them more than we think of Grant Hill and Bobby Hurley were unstoppable, and Eric Montrose's team that you can't name another player on. Oh man, they were just the greatest. Like they remember the Chris Webber timeout, the shorts, the swagger. They don't remember who was the second best player on the Tar Heels championship team. They don't, and that's the impact they made. The Pacers are going to
Yeah,
have a similar effect, I think, when all's said and done. So,
perfect, Fred. I appreciate you for getting on with us, my man. We'll do it again soon.
yeah, sounds good. Have a good rest of your show, fellas. Take care.
Thanks, man. See ya.
You take care.
All right, that's our guy, Fred Feltner. But they still doing the KFAB connection. I don't know if they're doing that podcast still or not, but
No, I don't even know if Fred's on that platform or Twitter.
okay, probably not, man. Probably not.
That's and whatnot. Yeah, for sure. If anybody remembers.
JB, the deep state was getting you. Every time I bring you in, it kicked you out. It kept kicking you out. So I don't know what the hell the deal was.
I'm on the run. You already know, man.
I'm going to run through some things before the draft's getting ready to start here in 2 minutes. I'm going to run through some things. Kyrie Irving and the Mavs agreed to a new 3-year, $119 million deal. Kyrie staying in Dallas. You're going to get Cooper Flag. You got Anthony Davis. You got Klay Thompson. You got to think Dallas is going to be a hell of a lot better this next year coming into it. And they're going to make probably themselves a deep playoff run out there in the West. So Kyrie going there. We talked to Celtics. Porzingis got traded to Atlanta. That was a salary cap dump there. Anthony Simmons got traded to the Celtics. There is word he could get traded again tonight. The Celtics could be moving him one more time tonight with that contract. The Thunder and the Grizzlies are both candidates right now to trade up into the top 10 tonight. Remember, the Thunder have like three first-round picks or something. It's
Yeah,
nuts. It's crazy. Yeah. The Heat are shopping Andrew Wiggins. The Bulls, once again, are shopping Vucevic. Al Horford is unlikely to stay in Boston, is kind of what the terms are looking like. Kuminga and Miami might be a marriage and a trade if Kuminga goes down there to Miami. And there are several teams in the top 10 that are making an aggressive approach to the Celtics for Jaylen Brown. So, like I said, Jaylen Brown could get traded here. A lot of top 10 teams are trying to get him from Boston. The Celtics are also listening for offers to Derek White, but they're going to hold on to a huge asking price per Shams for Derek White.
I mean, you talking about an Olympian? You talking about an All NBA? What are you talking? I mean, I don't. What they want to just give away the team? This is terrible. This is worse than Larry Bird back broken. If this give them Jaylen Brown the lead, because they're gonna give you three. Let me tell you something, man. I love me some. You want to talk about Cooper Flag? We can, bro. I'll lose my mind. But you want to lose like the Boozer twin? He's not as good as Cooper Flag. So this is what you kicking in your can down. You got Jaylen Brown right now. We're not kicking the can down. I wouldn't kick the can down for no Boozer twins over Jaylen Brown. Sorry. And I like the Boozer twins. I like the other homie who's gonna be playing for Baylor next year. It's gonna make y'all go crazy. Who else got some homies coming next year? Butler, believe it or not, got some homies that y'all gonna see next year in the college ranks.
Purdue.
But I'm not kicking down the can for none of those dudes. I got Jaylen Brown. Sorry.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, obviously Cooper Flag won. Dylan Harper's probably going to go 2. Was it Newcomb or something's going 3? I can't probably said his name wrong.
BJ Eckham from
Eckham. Yeah. Hey man, I'm hearing Ace Bailey. I'm hearing Ace Bailey's like a cancer out here, man. Like he's canceled all his workouts with everybody.
Yeah, listen to his representation. And he's fallen from like I seen some people got him projected to go no lower than 10th. Now he's got talent level. Don't get crazy. Like he's got talent level. Like you'd be crazy.
I had him at 6 to Washington. He's already told the Jazz he didn't want to go there at 5. He said, "I don't want you. I don't want to go to the Jazz." Well, obviously he shouldn't either because there's already too many guards there.
Well, yeah, right. And Danny Ainge probably really don't want him anyway. This probably.
Yeah. There's rumors on Andrew Wiggins. Obviously, we talked about him being shot by the Heat. Lakers are interested in Andrew Wiggins. Lakers don't have a draft pick tonight. Do you see them moving up into this draft pick, or do you see them making some other trades going in before free agency, or what's next for them?
I damn near would be crazy, man. I had a nightmare that the Brooklyn Nets traded for LeBron James. They got 5 first-round draft picks, man. You know they'd be stupid enough to call Rob Pelinka, and Rob Pelinka's dumb. I'm sorry. Pelinka he is. He ain't no great general manager. He had a great client in Kobe Bryant. He ain't no great general manager. He's not.
Let me ask you this: would you, if you were Dallas, you're the GM, Nico, the idiot who got so much people talk so much shit about you. You've already got Davis, Kyrie, Clay. You have the number 1 pick. If Brooklyn offered you 4 of the first round picks this year for the number 1 pick, would you do it?
No, because your main players are still out. Urban didn't have to rehab. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Cooper Flag on a championship level team. Once he gets to his prime, it's unlimited. But like if next year, I'm not talking about you have Cooper Flag be his year after that. If they keep AD, ding dong. If they keep AD and Kyrie Irving comes back, you have all these other pieces. Derek Lively, he the maturation of him as well. Like man, they got a serious solid contender. What mixed with veteran leadership and rising star power. So they have a very good mix there in Dallas. I wouldn't necessarily, you know what I'm saying,
Wh-
hit Brandon. But Clay might not stay there for that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That
What are
first year. I don't think they first year they don't want stability. That's what they're gonna bring the kid into stability.
what are we missing with Knipple? What kind of talent is he going to be in the pros?
Are you
Is his
serious?
game
I'm
really
glad
going to
you
work
brought him
out?
up, man. Next Jeff Hornacek, promise you. Just a little bit taller, 6'7". Next Jeff Hornacek. I know it ain't gonna be crazy. He gonna probably the
Will he
first
be
year
better than Grayson Allen?
defensively. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, he got a little bit better. He got a little bit more handles than Grayson Allen. That still
Okay.
don't mean he don't eat the big Brandon. He don't eat the big table when they go back to Durham though. When they go back to Duke, he still eats a small table because you didn't deliver. Grayson Allen delivered.
Okay. Would you experiment with the Pacers with a 1-year Chris Paul?
Too slow. He ain't be able to keep with the pace. Not to put the Pacers run.
Okay. It's official. The Dallas Mavericks are on the clock. The first pick. We'll be on the first couple. I mean, we know who the picks are going to be, the first couple already, but um, I don't. The only other thing I have, John, Aaron Rodgers said, like I said, we talked to Fred. Rodgers said that this is his last season in the NFL, so he's going to go out with Pittsburgh. Hey, at least we know it's a 1-year wonder. Let's see what happens. Pittsburgh is definitely looking either into next year's draft or this is the build-up draft for the build-up year for Will Howard, possibly.
They wouldn't have drafted Will Howard if they didn't think he could play. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So there is that. And Mason Rudolph, am I correct?
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph brought him back. So, you know, they'll trip and win some games up here in Pittsburgh. We know this. I know everybody kind of wait to shoot a fall about team. Pacers been on a run. And sounds like Daniel Jones might be the week one starter unless the homie can get out there and rip him up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But sounds like Daniel Jones. Have Daniel Jones won games in this NFL? Yes, but I don't think that was the plan. I don't think that's what everybody kind of was expecting. So, Coach probably gonna be manning draft next year.
Interesting tonight. So Adam Silver just came on and said, with 7 different champions over the last 7 years, welcome to the new era in NBA basketball where every team has a shot.
Brandon, this is what he's selling. Brandon, make no mistake. I get this is what he said. I don't have a.
You still think it's the Celtics and the Lakers and the?
Hey, ain't left. He didn't get fired. That's one thing. They ain't let the money go. Brad Stevens didn't get fired, did he? No, he didn't. Hold on, Brandon. Pat Riley, Jenny Buss sold the company, but she's still the CEO. So yeah, still around LA, man. No, man. That's still the championship still flows through those teams, man. It does.
Couple things.
Boom.
I'm ready. The Noblesville Boom met up with some of their people out at the golf outing the other day. I did. So we're going to see what we you might have Brandon Reef and Jonathan Birdsong, the 2 top G League guru guys in the country coming up.
It was meant to be.
Also,
Basketball.
John, The prep has started. The Phil Steele college football guide is out. I've got
Yes, sir.
380 pages to preview. Spoiler alert, they've got Purdue dead last. They've got Ball State third to last. It ain't pretty for the locals, for us
They play
locals.
one.
Game one.
Man.
Game one. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, baby, we got the guides, John. The college football prep when Pick'em's coming again. The wildness of Pick'em. I can't wait. Also, the NCAA is going to determine shortly in the next couple of weeks about expanding the NCAA tournament. It would start in 25-26 season, so this next season it would happen. No more, though, than 76 teams. 76, they said, is a better number than 72.
More than 76.
So I can tell you're a fan of that one. Your face is locked up on that. That was pretty. Some housekeeping. I got some housekeeping. Summer break. John, I think I know I was out for a week on vacation when I was on my golf trip and all, but summer break coming up for me and John. We'll probably take a few weeks off unless we have a night where it's like, hey, we need to get on because there's some crazy breaking news we need to do. But here in July, it's slow months. There's no baseball is baseball, but it's not really heating up till later. There's no NBA unless it's free agency craziness that would happen or a trade. So I think me and John might take a couple weeks off here to kind of recharge the batteries as we get ready to go full bore into the month of August. College football, NFL, training camps. Before we go into all that, John, what's your thoughts on that? You good with that as well?
There's no way. I give a don't stop, man. I will probably be chiming in on the Twitters. I'll probably be chiming in on the threads. I'll be here on the Crossroads.
It just won't be a big official show. It just won't be the normal official show.
Dude,
but if something crazy happens, we're going to come on together. So
we got other interviews. We got to.
Yeah, we need Mac on. We got to schedule Mac. Get him on. Coach Brantley, we need to get him on here soon.
Hold on, those are our normal folks, man. There's other surprise folks that we got working in it. So, but yeah, no, man. But I get it. Normal regular show where.
Yep.
Sorry.
Cooper Flagg, #1 pick overall, just announced. First time ever. Never heard of the guy. Good for Coop. He'd look good in a Pacer uniform. I'd trade Miles Turner for him. So, all right, John, looks like your video and audio is kind of cutting in and out, but any last things before we go for this evening?
Nah, man. Hope it's a great draft, man. Probably gonna be no. So.
Cool. I'm Brandon Reef. That's Jonathan Birdsong. We'll see you guys on the flip side. We may go live next week. We may not. I don't know. Summer break's coming up. We got to take a little bit of a break, but we got to get interviews in, all that. You never know when we're going to go live. So just be prepared. Conversation always continues on Facebook, on Twitter. We'll see you guys all then. Enjoy the draft. Have a great night.